damn it, I can't find the right image. There's a perfect meme. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to find it in time. God damn it. No, this is a travesty. Do you ever have this thing where, like, you see a meme in your fucking, like, folder for about a month, and then when you actually want to find it, you can't find it? Am I having a nightmare? Here it is. Yeah, boy! Let's fucking go! Whoa. Why did the audio quality get so shitty? What was that? Is this like a bad rip? Wait. Listen, I didn't change anything here. What the fuck? Oh god, they didn't get the full rip of the song. Oh no. Well, folks, it's time. Doing more reviews. Can I... Hold on. Yes, this is the way to do it. Okay. I don't know why I'm determined to do this now. We're gonna do more reviews. I have to edit Bloodborne, but I figured I might get some of these out of the way. Because they are long overdue. Thought I would spice up the stream a little bit, because it's so boring having just like spreadsheets all the time. Okay. Boom. Here we are, folks. This is not, okay. Alright. New Super Mario Brothers. Let's fucking go. To those of you who don't know, I'm just casually going through and talking about the games that, and by the way, there's going to be no actual background music, so if you got some music that you want Toru to jam out to, please, by all means, put it on in the background. Just going through, these are all the games I've streamed, and it is, nothing, I'm not trying to be, like, super objective here, I'm just saying, like, my personal rankings for these games. You know, the giving Dr. Mario a perfect 10 kind of, like, haunts me to this day, and I feel like that's wrong now, looking at that. I've, like, changed as a person since I wrote that. But whatever, let's just get on with it. Maybe when I'm done with this I can review the list, but we'll be here fucking forever if I'm, like, editing past ones. New Super Mario Brothers. I streamed this recently, and it's very good. I was kind of shocked that it was not, like, more Poopa-Stinka. Because, you know, the series has a bad rep, because there's 4 or 5, depending on how you count it, pretty samey games in the franchise, but this one's good. I happen to think the Wii one is also good. I never played the other two, so I can't account for those, but man, oh man, was this game fun, and it's kind of the whole package. Like, it's got a ton of levels, ton of variety, really fun levels for the most part, cool, like, sort of gimmicks too, like the volcano level, that one's fun, and that's just one of many. It's not a baby game. It's about as hard as I would say, like, Mario World or something like that, you know? One thing I would say is that the controls are just a little bit on the sluggish side. That was something that kind of came across when I was playing this. I was like, you can't turn as easily in midair. You just have a little bit less mobility, and I think you're a little bit slower because it's on a handheld screen, which has a narrower aspect ratio. Apparently, I played the only good ones, so yay. Let me just take a drink of water here. It is worth noting that if you play this game on emulator, you will notice that this game has showed its age a little bit. It's a bit crusty looking. That's just sort of how it is. The Wii one definitely improved on that a lot. I think the Wii one looks pretty great and set the visual standard for the rest of these. But the first one, it's like when you get the mini mushroom power-up, you become like 4 pixels wide, you know, or you become such a tiny cluster of like 8 pixels, maybe. But it's so actually fun, and it's also got decent multiplayer, and I would say more than decent, and it's got minigames, tons of minigames, which I know a lot of them are carried over from... In fact, didn't we determine that Mario 64 DS has more of them and this one just has some of them. I think that's the way it is. I don't remember if that's exactly right, but at least most of them are carried over from Super Mario 64 DS, but they're fun. They make good use of the DS gimmick, and the DS gimmick is not. I feel like the DS's gimmick was a lot less frustrating than the Wii. Like the Wii, you're like, I can't fucking shake the Wiimote at a precise time. But with the DS, it was just like, okay, it's just a touch screen. Like, how do you fuck that up? It was actually, like, it was genuinely responsive, which is the way to go. It's bothering me that these Torus are like, they're like different sizes. This one's too small. I'm glad they're all in sync. That's my favorite part of this. I kind of wish I was listening to music in the background, but I don't know. I've considered putting on music in the background. Anyway, New Super Mario Bros. It's great. It's just a lot of fun. It's cute. I enjoyed playing it as Babby, but I wouldn't say it's a Babby game. I wasn't necessarily Babby. This one has the Mario curse, though. Do I want to give this one an 8 or an 8.5? I think it's an 8.5. Genuinely, I'm just trying to not be like fucking biased here by wanting to spice up the list, you know? I genuinely do just think that so many Mario games, mainline Mario games, are just a solid 8.5. That just happens to be the way it is. I guess, yeah, it's been a while since I've done one of these. The curse is that I give so many mainline Mario games an 8.5 because so many of them are just on this exact, like, they are really good, but they are nothing, like, that redefined the fucking art of gaming or anything. You know, they're just sort of great, but, like, amazingly serviceable, I guess. I don't know if that makes any sense. Yes, I would absolutely recommend this. Playing it on emulator was fine, too. I didn't really have any issues, except I guess I had a little bit of an audio crust issue, but that worked. That got fixed whenever I reset the emulator, and the touchscreen is not very needed for this, although I occasionally did need to switch to mouse to give myself a power-up from my inventory. But some DS games I feel like are almost impossible with a mouse, and this one is like, okay, whatever. Okay, Mario Land. Honestly, gonna have to whip out a hot take here. Not very good. Not a great game. Genuinely just kinda I don't think I would even recommend it. It's roughly on the same level as like Super Mario Bros. 1. But even then, it's significantly crustier. It was one of the first games on the Game Boy, which nowadays, looking at those games, looks like we're seeing a game carved into a stone tablet, you know? And I don't know, the game is just not mechanically terribly fun. Everything's kind of stiff. The game feel, like the controls are not amazing. I don't know. It just isn't very fun. It's not terribly long. It's got some good music. All right, it's got bump, bump, classic, and it's got and then later on, it's got some jams that I don't remember in the slightest, but I remember them being good. So that's something at least. But no, I don't think I would recommend this one. I would give this like I don't know. It's not offensive. It's not like offensively bad, and it's not like they had a super high standard of Game Boy games to live up to there. One thing was, I was like, oh, there's a little glitch in the HUD. Like some pixels keep getting misplaced in the HUD. That must just be an emulator thing. And people were like, nope, that happens in the actual game. And I went and I booted up my cartridge of it, and yep, sure indeed, those pixels in the HUD go like every once in a while. It's just kind of stanky. And then it's got like, this is the debut appearance of Daisy. This whole series, by the way, Super Mario Land, humble origins, mutated into something insane with the Wario Land series. That's a whole different beast. But it also brought us Daisy. It also brought us Tarantaga or whatever. Whomstever the fuck that alien guy is. I forget his name. I think it's Tarantaga or something like that. who came back for the second Mario Land game, and then I think never fucking again ever for all of our lives, and everybody was fine with it because he was just kind of an alien dude. The shooter sections in the game are interesting. Those are kind of fun. It's like Cuphead plane segments, actually, where you're like in a submarine or whatever. It's fine. I don't know. Tatonga? I don't believe you? That doesn't sound right. Hold on. Tatanga. Close. I was like, that just doesn't sound right. Tatonga? Evil alien Tatanga. To those of you who don't know here, can I bring up a picture of this guy? Because I feel like this guy... Some people are probably like, genuinely, what the fuck are you talking about? What is this Mario villain that's like an alien? Yeah, there's a Mario villain that's an alien. And he's cool. He's purple. Bazinga, I believe was his name. This little fucking gremlin goon, he needs to show up in Smash. I bet you he is totally a spirit. I don't remember spirit mode at all, but I bet you this guy is a spirit. Super Mario Land, it's not great. I don't know, I'm gonna, like, maybe 3.5. It's not as fun as Super Mario Bros., and Super Mario Bros. Is already kind of sketchy. It does have, like, it has the ball power-up. The ball power-up is quite nice. Although it's not actually that useful. That's why they didn't bring it back, I think. Actually, was it in 6 golden coins? I think it might have been. All right. 3.5, final answer. Get me out of here. Super Mario Land's 2 6 golden coins. This one's a significant step up. This one is, like, actually playable. I would suggest this, but I would not... Spoiler alert, I would not suggest Wario Land 1 or Virtual Boy Wario Land. Virtual Boy Wario Land is on the cusp, but it's on the fucking Virtual Boy. We have 6 golden coins. Pretty fun. Honestly, they made as fun of a game as they probably could have. This one, kind of like New Super Mario Bros., actually, you move sort of slow because the screen was very thin. It makes it feel like a babby game, and it kind of is a babby game, honestly. I would say, you know, this is sort of in contrary to the common, like, oh, retro games are usually more difficult narrative. I would say this is more of a babby game than New Super Mario Bros., for instance. It's got a couple unique power-ups. It's got some very distinctive level gimmicks and world gimmicks. There's like the giant Mario world where you become small and go around to like a toy Mario and go into his ball zone. It's just a little more creative and shit. Super Mario Land 1 had like that sort of exotic cultures vibe to it where it was like Easter Island and like, I don't know, like it wasn't the last world about like China. I said it was Japan, but I think people said it was actually China, which makes more sense if they're going by like a foreign lands theme. I'm trying to even remember what the other worlds were, whatever. But Mario Land just tends to have like a weird theme. That's the way I would put it, is just strangeness. And 6 golden coins definitely falls under that. And this is stuff that kind of got carried over to the Wario Land series too. But overall, it's not that fantastic of a game. It's definitely the one I would recommend out of the series if you really must. Some of the sprites, I think the Mario sprite is basically just traced from Super Mario World. You can correct me if I'm wrong there, but I seem to remember it looks very similar. And then you've just got like the bunny ears power up and shit like that. Few gameplay differences. I think the ball power up shows up. I'm not sure. Let me take a drink of water here, folks. Is it time to remove these things? Are you guys like totally fucking annoyed at this, by the way? I feel like I'm gonna die. Get these out of my face. Why are we still doing this? Just make it a boring spreadsheet. I'm sort of struggling to think what number to give this one. It's like probably on the exact same level as Super Mario Bros. It's just fine. Tarantaga or whatever, I already forgot his name, comes back as a secret boss. There's some great music. The Space Zone music especially is pretty great. Most Game Boy games have some like really fucking repetitive music too. 6 for the amount of golden coins. I honestly, the thing is, I was considering giving it a 6, so that's kind of appropriate. But yeah, lots of fun level gimmicks. Uh, like there was the part where you're in fucking space and you have like a space helmet on, and I think the space helmet does not properly track Mario's body or something like that. I seem to remember there being some jank there. I don't know. It's fine. I don't really have many strong feelings one way or the other. Even the music, there's like one or two real good jams. There's that one dun 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 or whatever. But someone said to put a skeleton, a badass skeleton in the corner. There you go. Dab skeleton, the day of the dab. Dun 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 dun. It's fine. I've said that about a billion times. Just give it a 6 and get out of here. I need to like move on. Look at how many, by the way. That's all the games we got to get through. I got to move it along. I got to move it along. Is all I'm saying. I got to get going, man. We got to get this gravy train rolling. Wario Land. The first Wario Land, not very good, honestly. Kind of a poopa stinka game. This game, it's got like one or two decent songs, but then a lot of the music is real annoying. It's got that slow movement of Mario Land 2. It feels slower than the original Super Mario Land, because in the original Super Mario Land, Mario was kind of small on the screen, but then in 6 Golden Coins and in Wario Land, I mean, of course in Wario Land you're playing as Wario. We'll get to that. I don't know, they both feel kind of sluggish, and this one has less bass music. It's so weird that this is called Super Mario Land 3, of course. I think we can all agree because you play as Wario. It's just kind of bizarre. This is the introduction of Wario's kit, his shoulder charge and all that. He had some special power-ups that got ditched pretty soon after. I think we saw them in Virtual Boy Wario Land and then never again. But they were not terribly fun. I feel like they were sort of reminiscent of some of the power-ups in Mario Land. I don't really remember specifically. There's like the dragon that shoots flame, and that makes a horrible deafening fucking noise. Like, and then that was some good phlegm. Then there's like the bird helmet where you can fly, and that's like, it sounds good, but the levels are so kind of like small and claustrophobic that you can't really use it that much. I don't know, not a lot of this game worked for me, and the bosses suck. Oh, the bosses are terrible. This is one thing that the Wario Land series really had to work on early on, was I just kind of hated the bosses. I don't know if I just fucking suck ass at them, but they always felt really frustrating and dumb. They were either really frustrating and dumb or like a complete cakewalk fucking joke. Like wasn't there a boss in this game that was like a minotaur that you have to push off of the platform once and then he just dies? And then there was that dumb fucking genie boss at the end, spoiler alert, where I think there was a mechanic that just relied on straight up RNG to beat him. You needed to basically like roll a dice and get a certain number to beat him. That's not exactly what it was, but it was like you had to hit his little lamp so that it like tipped up in the air, and you had no control over which direction it would tip in or something like that. It was pretty stanky. I didn't really enjoy a lot of the game. And it's got this whole thing where you're like collecting. Did they have treasures in this game? I feel like they did. There's this strange mechanic where you can bring a coin out of your wallet and hold it above your head and put it in like a coin slot to get a checkpoint, or to get I think it's to get checkpoints, and then also to get treasure in the levels. And I think just the collecting all the treasure mechanic also really didn't get refined until, in my opinion, Wario Land 3, where it was like, in order to leave a level, you had to get at least one treasure. That was good. in these previous ones, it's like they're an optional objective, and then if you don't get them, you get like a shitty ending or something. And it's just kind of unsatisfying. I think this was the first instance of the Luigi's Mansion-esque mechanic, though, where the amount of money you have at the end of the game determines what ending you get. And I think Wario, like, my ending, he lived in a log. That was his house. It was like a hollowed out tree or something like that. It was pretty great. Somebody said, like, the last time I did one of these, they were like, damn, Gray's, like, wilding out. Why was he, like, breathing so heavily? It's something to do with, I always want to be talking because there's nothing fucking going on screen. You know? There's just, like, nothing happening. Like, I can put up, like, funny memes, but I feel like I always have to fill space because there's just nothing going on besides a fucking spreadsheet. And I just need to relax, honestly. I just need to, every once in a while, take a little fucking pause and just chill, and just drink in the ambience of the room. And put dumb memes on screen. This isn't even a meme. This is just a pillow. Hello, guys. This is like, it's like a bed thing. Why am I doing this? Where you put your head in Gengar's mouth and you sleep on his tongue. And I know this is going to sound so weird, but at night, and this is absolutely true, this is 100% true, I do this every single night of my life. I sleep on my back, and I put my pillow, I like lean it against the wall so that like the rim of the pillow is pressing into my eyes. I don't know why. It's like I've used sleep masks in the past to the same effect. And I don't know why, but I like having a little bit of pressure on my closed eyelids when I go to sleep. So I looked at this, and I thought, this is perfect for me. Gengar's teeth will serve the same purpose. I will sleep in Gengar's mouth, and he'll give me the eye pressure I need. It's genius. I'm so glad we talked about this. I've had that image saved in my, like, fucking folder for months. Only just now have I thought to, like, bring it up. I actually do sleep on my stomach sometimes. I shouldn't say I do it every single night, but when I sleep on my back, I put my pillow on my fucking eyes. I don't know why. Anyway. Back to the reviews. Wario Land. It sucks! The first Wario Land kind of sucks. I would love to see a remake of this game because they could improve on it so much. The first, like, 3 Wario Land games, a remake of those would be like, damn. Or the first 4, including Virtual Boy, but they'll never acknowledge that game. This game is like a 3 out of 10. I don't know. It's not good. It's not terrible, I guess. It's kind of terrible. It's not, whatever. Virtual Boy Wario Land. A step up. A significant step up. Shockingly so, because it's on the goddamn Virtual Boy. This is the only Virtual Boy game I've ever streamed. It might be the only Virtual Boy game I ever stream, ever. I don't know. Why am I checking the rest of the list? I know it's the only one. I did play it on an emulator, of course. And the good thing about that emulator was not only did it give me the option to, like, do a 3D glasses thing where I could put on my red and blue glasses and see the 3D effect a little bit, but it also had different color settings. So, and I don't know why you would want this. If you don't want the entire game to be piercing, eye-bleeding red, you can change it to something else, like gray or purple. You know, and I have no clue why anybody would not want needles stabbed into their fucking eyes when they look at a video game. So if you're the kind of sick fuck that can't put up with the Virtual Boy, then there are options otherwise. It is gameplay-wise a step up. I think the screen is much wider, so they allowed Wario to go a lot faster, and I didn't know the entire time I played this, but there's a fucking run button. This game bears the distinction throughout the entire Wario Land series of being the only one that has a run button, as far as I know. I've never played Shake It. That's the one that I don't know. But the run button doesn't add much. The dash is actually really smooth and satisfying in this game. It's, like, way better than the first Wario Land. They put a little bit of a after image process. There, I don't even know. There's a weird effect to it that makes it look cool and sort of feel good, and I called it wave dashing, but you can kind of like move back and forth mid dash and keep the momentum of the dash, and it just feels fun. The levels themselves are not great. They kind of have a lot of the issues of the first Wario Land. They're a little more open, and some of them are kind of labyrinthine, and that can just get really annoying when you just want to get to the end of the fucking level. Especially when you're looking for the treasure. It's also got that same issue of like there's a treasure in every level, and I think it has a lives system, and if you run out of lives, it like deletes a bunch of your treasures or something like that, and you have to go back and get them, and that shit's just dumb. The game's not particularly easy. I remember getting a couple game overs. So I feel like that's just kind of artificial difficulty to get the ending where Wario flies off with a hot babe with a bunch of treasure on a flying carpet. It's just a little bit better than the first one. Those astute observers will note that there are 4 Wario Land games on this list so far, and it only goes up to 3. This game has sort of gone ignored by history, or at least by Nintendo, seeing as that the third Wario Land game was called Wario Land 2. That basically signifies they disowned the console. But it's not totally worth overlooking. I wouldn't say like seek it out to play it. But if you're really, really interested in the Wario Land series history, then I guess you can play these first 2. But otherwise, it's not great. It's got Poopa Stinka bosses. I remember the bosses being, again, either really easy or really annoying. The final boss was really difficult and had a fucking intro cutscene that lasted like a full minute, I swear. It had this stupid thing where it like rises out of the ground and it goes except it's not nearly as cool, or I don't know, it feels like it's like 3 times as long as the intro to like Bowser in Mario World, for instance. And it got really annoying. That was pretty cool. I'm struggling to remember. Oh, there's gimmicks in the levels. Since it's a 3D console, there's shit where you like jump into the background and then come back into the foreground. That shit is fine, and honestly, it's the kind of gimmicky shit that doesn't really get in the way that much. Like, it just feels like neat level design. It doesn't feel like, whoa! There are certain things, there were a couple like boss attacks that felt like, whoa, I'm supposed to be like so wowed by this. But it's such old ass technology that it's not impressive in the slightest. And it's like, I don't know, it's like mildly impressive the first time you see it with the 3D glasses on. You're like, okay, I get it, they made a 3D thing, but it's just kind of pointless. Like, there were a couple of games on the Virtual Boy that were actually like a first-person 3D game, right? There was like a flight simulator or something, or was that Water World or something like that? I almost said Wario World. I feel like those are better suited for the Virtual Boy. Here it was just like a platformer with like a few 3D gimmicks shoved in there. Anyway, this game's like a 4. I don't know. Not super good. Wario Land 2. This is the first one in the series that I would actually suggest, if you don't count the Mario Land games as part of the series. Which I kind of do, weirdly, I don't know. Wario Land 2 is good. It is a significant fucking step up. I would probably give this like, maybe like a 7.5? I would say a 7.5. I'm just thinking about comparing it to Wario Land 3. It is very similar to Wario Land 3. By the way, note that Wario Land 2 is officially written with Roman numerals and Wario Land 3 is officially written with Arabic numerals. That is not a mistake. That is how it is, because life is hell. Shit like that bothers me so much. That doesn't bother me so much, but it's very interesting to me. They couldn't decide on like a syntax for it, or a common like format. This is a fun game, and it's got some interesting things about it. It's got a branching narrative, which is kind of awesome. It's like after you play through the game the first time, then there's alternative objectives where it's like, go back to the first level and, instead of waking up and finding the alarm clock, you sleep in and the plot changes, and then you go do a bunch of different levels, like, on a branching side of the plot, which is really cool. I kind of wasn't expecting something that, like, experimental and neat in this game, but that was an interesting aspect of it to me. Some of the ways to activate the alternate plot lines were a little esoteric and strange, but they are neat. It's just interesting, and the levels are a lot more fun. They got a little more linear than they were in Virtual Boy Wario Land. I feel like I don't know if that's actually true, but I seem to remember stumbling around in Virtual Boy Wario Land levels a lot and being like, where the fuck do I go? Whereas Wario Land 2, it's like you go right for the most part. There's a few more like maze-like. There's always like city levels, I feel like, in Wario Land, where they're a little more puzzle-esque, trying to figure out where you need to go. But for the most part, they are. I feel like I say that a lot. For the most part, but it's true. For the most part, they're fun. Wario controls very satisfyingly. I would say the dash. I kind of like the shoulder charge in Virtual Boy Wario Land the best. That's when it like felt the best. But in 2 and 3, it feels good. There is good music, but similar to how 3 is, it's good music, but it's also very repetitive music. It can get annoying, and the sound chip for the Game Boy Color is not great. It's just kind of grating sometimes. I'm going to review, later on we got Pokemon Gen 1. And that shit, I am amazed at how they got decent sounding music out of that sound chip. Because some of these games, it's just like, I can't imagine an amazing composition using this sound font, you know? And especially the Wario Land games, they sound more poopa stinka. The music sounds more bam, 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 bam. It's got those sort of like, I don't know, those brap instruments as compared to Pokemon, which had a lot more melodious shit. Because Wario's a big stinky man. He's got to have brap music. But yeah, Wario Land 2 is just good. It's got this kind of annoying, a lot of the Wario Land games, I don't remember. Oh, yeah, Virtual Boy Wario Land had it. All of the Wario Land games have weird little mini games. I believe the first one it was like there's just 2 bags and you choose one, and one has like a weight that drops on Wario's head, and one of them has a bunch of money in it. And you like place bets on that. That one was kind of lame. Virtual Boy Wario Land had a similar thing with like hitting blocks. It had a couple of different mini games, and they're just kind of obnoxious. Wario Land 2 is like the one that's, I think, kind of the most obnoxious, where you're trying to make this big picture, and you get a picture, you get a piece of the picture, and it's like a puzzle in each level, and you have to do this stupid little thing, dun 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 dun, and it plays that stupid music, and you have to like identify a number as it's slowly revealed on a grid or something like that. It got so boring and so repetitive by the end of the game that I delighted in using my using save states to just cheese it completely. It just got so dull by the end. And I think the thing that you unlock for like getting everything in this game is like a truly CBT final level that throws everything in the lore into question. It's like, what is it called? Like Captain Syrup's Meat Cave? I think that's what I called it. But there's like a surreal like hell level. I don't know. Some weird choices here. It's basically like the stumbling baby steps when getting to Wario Land 3, which is even better, and then Wario Land 4, which is even better, and then Wario Land Shake It, which I've never played, and then Wario Master of Disguise, which we don't talk about. We don't discuss that one. The bosses are still a little stinky in this one. You can't die. This is the first one where Wario is fucking invincible, by the way. That was like part of the advertising for the game, was Wario's like, I'm immortal! It's pretty funny. And because of that, the way that you fail a boss fight in this game is they give you some status effect that makes you... And the status effects thing, they're basically like power-ups. Refer to my Wario Land 3 review for this. It's a cool mechanic, honestly. I really like it. But it makes it so that with boss fights, the way they defeat you is they just basically push you out of their arena, and then you need to like go do a little bit of backtracking to get back to there. And that's just kind of annoying. It's frustrating to lose a fight that way, where it's like the enemy put you in a bubble, and now all you can do is helplessly float up out of their arena as they wave goodbye, you know? I don't know. It's a little frustrating. Wario Land 4 was, I feel like, where they finally whipped the bosses into shape. But overall, a very interesting series. It was, if nothing else, it was interesting going back and playing all the earlier titles. It was so funny, too, because all of this started because I just decided on a whim one day to play Super Mario Land, and then I was like, well, I guess I better do 6 golden coins. Well, guess I better do Wario Land. Well, I guess I better do Virtual Boy Wario Land. Well, I guess I better do Wario Land 2. And I will get around to 4 and shake it someday. I own both of those games. Not that I will be playing 4 on official hardware. You'll pardon me if there are just pauses in this. Mario Kart Super Circuit. It's not good. It's roughly on the same level as Super Mario Kart or Mario Kart 64. As you can see, I did not really care for Mario Kart 64 that much. I would maybe give this a 4.5. I feel like it's just a little bit better. Oh no. See, you notice some of these I have to like copy and paste to get the color to work. And sometimes I don't. Oh, what a nightmare. Oh well, at least we had a 4.5 to copy and paste from. I think there's got to be some... I don't think there's a 2.5 on the list anywhere, so if I find one of those, then I'm going to be shit out of luck. Super Circuit is very comparable to Super Mario Kart in that it is, for the time, probably pretty based. I played this when it, like, roughly when it came out, and I remember enjoying it, but I also remember getting really frustrated at it. And when I played it again on stream, I was like, oh my god, now I realize why. The controls fucking suck ass. Like, they're not miserable, but they're just kind of annoying. All the characters are just a little too slidey, and they had not figured out how to do drifting yet. The drifting just feels wrong in this game. I don't know, apparently some people are fine with it. Maybe I just suck ass at it. But the drifting just feels terrible in this game to me. It's like not just that it's different, it's like, whoa. A saving grace of this game, though, is that I think it looks better than Super Mario Kart. And, like, even when you're emulating either of them on the same, like, size screen. And it's got better music. It's got quite good music. There's, like, some actual jams. There's some pretty unique levels, and it also is worth noting that it has all the levels from Super Mario Kart as well. I think it has all the stages. If not all of them, it has most of them. Which is kind of cool. Not much else to say about it, though, frankly. It was like... Double Dash just blows it out of the water. Let's just get to Double Dash. Don't play this one. It's not worth it. It was fun for, like, nostalgia. It's where we got Cheese Land. It's where we got Ribbon Road. We got Sky Garden from this in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. That's all you need to know. Those are the better versions of the stage. Super Circuit doesn't have any verticality, too, so it's all just on a flat plane. At least Mario Kart 64 has that over it. But the reason I would rate it higher than Mario Kart 64 is mostly the music and the fact that I think it just looks a little bit better. Mario Kart 64 is kind of poopa-stinka. And Super Mario Kart. They both have a weird look to them. Double Dash is fucking based, though. Now that we've gotten to that, very good. It's worth noting that I played both Super Circuit and Double Dash when I was younger. And going back to Double Dash, I'm like, oh my god, this is such a fucking fun video game. Whereas Super Circuit, I was like, I want to die. I wish to be killed. It's just simply fun. Amazing music. It looks great. Like, it really doesn't look that dated. It looks a little dated now, but... Hold on, let me just... take a deep breath here. It looks great. The music is awesome. It's just simply fun. Like there's a great feel to the controls. There's like a nice weight to the carts. I love the special items. I really wish they brought this back in later games where every character or every set of characters has a unique special item. That was so fun. And the stages are great. It's a huge fucking step up from the lame ass stages in Mario Kart 64, honestly. So much more like verticality, and everything just looks great. It's like that GameCube era where they kind of just nailed it. everything just looked awesome. And I don't know, there's not much else to say about it. The multiplayer is fun. That goes without saying. It's Mario Kart. It's sort of made for multiplayer. That's an interesting thing about Super Circuit, is most people who play Super Circuit are just going to play against CPUs, which is just not the same experience. But in this one, they figured out drifting. It just feels great to play. Taking those tight corners, it just feels like the controls were made for the courses. One thing in Super Circuit was that 100cc felt so much better than 150cc, where 150cc felt like it was too fast for the courses, and like you were constantly, going onto the grass and shit, not being able to like make tight turns. But in this one, it feels great at any CC, honestly. And there's lots of cool little details too. Interesting mechanics that relate to specific stages. Like in Mushroom City, you got those mushroom cars that you hit and they got mushrooms that come out of them. It's just fun. Lots of great stages too. That's why I feel like so many of these, I would love to see like what percentage of stages in 8 Deluxe came back from like which previous games, because I feel like we'd have a tiny selection from Super Circuit, a ton from Double Dash and Wii, and then like a decent portion from 64 and Super. Although the Super stages that they remade in 8 Deluxe are they just made them better, basically. They like made them actual stages. Double Dash is fantastic though. Every track is the best track. And what number would I give this? I honestly feel like I want to put this above an 8.5. Nostalgia probably factors in heavily to this, but again, reminder that I played Super Circuit when I was younger too. I'm going to give this a 9. I think this is the best Mario Kart game. Mario Kart Wii is the only other competitor to it. I guess, no, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe also exists. And there is DS and 7. I've never played 7. DS, I think, does get ranked lower than, like, Double Dash, but whatever. It's a fucking fun game. It's just fantastic. It's kind of timeless. Like, I really think if you just want to have some fucking fun, just sit down and play Double Dash. Andrew said that him and his friends used to call it crack. It was like playing Double Dash and Kirby Air Ride or something like that. It was just, they referred to it as doing crack because it was just so addictive and fun. Anyway, a very pleasant game, too. It just puts you in a good mood. Now we got Metroid Zero Mission. This game is fucking awesome. This is one of the best 2D Metroids. So fucking good. It's a remake, probably one of the best remakes ever made. It's a remake of the first Metroid, which had a lot of fucking room for improvement, let me tell you that. And they did a really bang-up job. It looks good. It sounds good. Great music. It's got some of that GBA crust. But, and not only that, but they remade the game. They expanded on certain things. Like in original Metroid 1, Kraid was this shitty little guy that went like, meh, and he was like the exact same size as Samus, and it was really funny. In Zero Mission, they made him the Kraid that we all know and love from Super Metroid, which was cool. Certain things like that, like they beefed up the boss fights super hardcore. And they also added this entire like last segment of the game where you're playing as Zero Suit Samus that's actually really fun and cool. It's like the last segment I seem to remember was a little frustrating, but it's actually really neat and really enjoyable and memorable. And I kind of like, it kind of blew my mind when it first happened, because I had played the first Metroid and I played Zero Mission and I was like, oh, it's over. And then it was like, it's not over. And I was like, what? Are these memes getting stale for you guys? Should we put some new memes up? I'm feeling new memes. I have to snort, too. Oh my god, wait, this is perfect. I just saw a meme that has snort on it. Snort. Fresh meme. Anyway. Zero Mission is fucking awesome and based. People say this game holds your hand, and they're fucking wrong. It just has direction. It just tells you where to go once or twice, and then the other times it doesn't even really tell you where to go, it just tells you which area a secret is in. I don't think that's wrong at all. I think it's very based. It's fun. It's kind of short. I would say this is probably the best Metroid game to get into the franchise, because it has the hallmarks of all the good 2D Metroids. It's got all the classic shit. And it's relatively short. It's not too difficult. The Metroid series is no slouch in terms of difficulty, but it's not too difficult. You might have to get past, like, it is a little... The sound is a little crusty because it's on the GBA. If you can push past that, it's really not that big a deal. Like, there's good music in it and shit, but it does sound a little crusty sometimes. That is a drawback. Overall, it's a fucking fantastic game, though. I think I am actually going to give this a 9 out of 10. It's just solid. I have very, very few complaints, and I remember enjoying it greatly. They really... I feel like they really doubled up on the cool individual room, like, puzzles to get to items. I don't know if... Of course this was a thing in, like, Super and Fusion, but... I remember there being a lot of really cool puzzles. Like, there was that one where you have to freeze the same enemy twice and jump on its back in 2 different spots to get to a power-up. That was pretty awesome. Shit like that is really memorable. And, like, cool Shine Spark puzzles. Again, it's a really great introduction, too, because there's a lot of stuff that carries over to other entries in the series, like learning how to Shine Spark and shit like that. Very good. Now, moving on to Metroid Dread, the one that came out recently. Hey guys, I'm reviewing a recent game. This came out like less than a month ago. That's whack. This is probably actually a channel first. Oh, look at this. I played some nice poopy games, and we finally got a nice, like, rut of orange in the Mario games. That's good shit. I was feeling bad about them all being, like, 7s and 8s. Metroid Dread. It was really good. I was honestly... I was really happy with how this turned out. I never played Samus Returns. Oh, wait. Let me, give my sound recommendation there. It is very fun. I would say this is maybe not the best entry point to the series if anybody's, like, not played Metroid and wants to try it out. I kind of imagine if you did that, you might kind of get curb stomped a little bit. Maybe I'm wrong on that. There were certainly some things that were different from other entries in the series that kind of threw me for a loop. So I don't know, maybe you would actually have the advantage, but it was kind of shocking how difficult it got throughout. Like, people told me, like, oh, this one's, like, really hard for some reason. And that was fine. It feels like Hollow Knight. It's like if you enjoyed Hollow Knight, you would probably really enjoy Metroid Dread, especially after you get the dash ability. But yeah, it's fun. It's got all the Metroid shenanigans that you've come to know and love, as well as it has the ME sections. It has the stealth shit where you have to run away from these mega powerful robots and then get the resource to kill them and then kill them. Those parts were awesome. Weirdly enough, when I first started up the game, I was like, these sections are going to get really annoying. And then as they started thinning in numbers and there was like one left, I was like, wait, I want to do more of these. Because it was kind of fun. It was an interesting challenge to overcome. And it was really interestingly designed. I really like the way they made those ME zones is really interesting, the way you're supposed to traverse around them. I like the new traversal abilities. The slide was awesome. I don't know, there are probably some things that were in Samus Returns that I never played that one, so I don't know, but the slide is awesome. the magnet walls, that's cool. I'm glad they brought back the scan beam. That was amazing. Uh, Wide kit of like tools that you have, and I think it makes use of just about every button on the SNES or on the Switch controller, which can get a little intense at times. It can get like I'm holding the controller now. I'm trying to think. Yeah, just about every button is accounted for and has like a specific move that's attributed to it, including specific directions on the D-pad, which can get a little overwhelming sometimes. It can be sort of like, oh god, I have so many options, what can I do? You know, what I have so many different moves to do. Something that I noticed when watching other people stream the game, both Jabroni Mike and Vinny have been playing it separately. There are certain areas where they will put, like there'll be a really difficult boss fight where the dash move is really useful against them. And the only thing between the spawn point and the fight, if you die, is a thing that just reminds you. It's one of those little doors that you have to dash through, just to remind you that you have the dash move. And like you have to parry the door before every boss fight to remind you how to like parry and shit like that. And I know it's like you shouldn't have to remind the player that they have these moves, but it's like keeping it fresh in your mind. I think this game actually does that really well. That was something that I sort of picked up on like watching people play the game after I'd already done it. Never noticed that while it was happening though. Great boss fights, great combat. It feels good. There were some boss fights that were a little stinky. I didn't like that bug that had a call beyond from Bloodborne. That was kind of annoying. But even that one was like overcomeable. It wasn't like bullshit. But that move felt a little dumb before I could figure out what to do with it. And then the final boss was a little frustrating, but nothing I couldn't overcome. And it was satisfying to beat. And the ending, I guess without wishing to spoil, was awesome. There was just some really cool stuff happened, and I was a big fan of it. The story, there's like a big lore dump halfway through that is kind of interesting, but I realized while I was watching that cutscene that I did not give a shit about what was happening, really, like, not that much. So, it didn't really, like, impact my enjoyment of the game at all, though. Like, it wasn't overbearing in the slightest. It was just sort of there, and I was like, you know what? Cool. Yeah, the robots. I really liked the fights, all the weird little incidental fights later on in the game. Like you fight all those Chozo warriors that have like Parasite X in them or whatever, and then the robots too. Those were really fun to fight, and it was just a nice, satisfying, meaty challenge to overcome. Like I said, if you liked Hollow Knight, I would really suggest checking it out. The one thing that kind of struck me, and before I played this, I was not even aware that Switch games had this reputation for being visually kind of scummy. It's visually a little bit scummy. The backgrounds are great. It's for a 2.5D type game. It's beautifully realized, and I thought that a lot of the areas just looked fucking amazing. That being said, some of the particle effects were just kind of crusty to the point where I was like, how is this like acceptable? And the cutscenes and the loading screens had really bad choppy frames. Like the loading screens is like not even that big of an issue. It's like fine. I really wish they would have just made that little cutscene pre-rendered or did something to make it not totally choppy, but whatever. But the cutscenes too were just chugging along with the frames, and it just kind of took me, I don't know, I'm not a big like frame stickler like I've said in the past, but I was just kind of like, what? Why is it like this, you know? Surely, like, I don't feel like it's that unreasonable to expect that a game should be optimized to run on the system that it is on, you know? I feel like that's a little hokey, and I hope they kind of crack down on that shit in the next game, which I would love to see. I'm trying to will the next game into existence because this game was so fucking fun. Some pretty crazy Shine Spark puzzles, but I don't think there was anything in this game that really was any crazier than some of the shit that was in Zero Mission or Fusion. Like, there were some kind of nutty shine sparks there, too. But yeah, satisfying. I think people said this was the easiest one to 100%. It's like one of the harder ones to complete, but one of the easier ones to 100%. And I think I believe that, even though I have not 100%ed any of the other ones. The map just made it a little bit easier to do that. The map was like full of lots of things that I felt were good improvements on the formula, and lots of things where I was like, why did they do this? Like, why did they make the little grid of like discovery blocks on the map, why were those blocks so small? It just felt kind of unsatisfying, just like carving a path through the map and not feeling like you're discovering big chunks of rooms. That's such a weird complaint, but I do stand by it. But I would absolutely recommend this game. Not for the faint of heart, though. Like, get ready to, like, maybe struggle a little bit on some bosses, because, hooey, those bosses get kind of difficult late game. Good God, is this another... It's gotta be an 8.5 or a 9, guys. It's an 8.5 or a 9. I'm gonna go... because I don't want to, like... I'm poisoning my own opinion by looking at chat. 9. I don't know why I'm so... Oh, whatever. Give it a 3. 9.85. I do, like, genuinely, I'm not trying to be affected by chat here. I think I am going to give it a 9. It's, like, roughly on the same level. I think I would rate it... If I had to rank all the Metroid games, I would put this below Zero Mission, but not by a fucking lot. You know? Like a hair below Zero Mission. There were just a couple things that were just like kind of weird about it. Like there were a couple map issues, the frame rates here and there. And I don't know. I think there's something about pixel art that ages so much more gracefully than 3D. You know? Like games like Super Metroid, they show their age a little bit, but they still basically look fine. Whereas I feel like Metroid Dread already looks dated. You know? Whatever. That's just how I feel, man. But I feel like just visually, and especially the first area in Metroid Dread kind of looks like ass, but then the whole rest of the game looks fucking amazing, so maybe I'm just being judgmental. But yeah, it just kind of like a little bit of visual crust here and there kind of like brought it down just a tiny iota, but really I'm like so fucking happy with how this turned out. And I'm not just giving it a 9 because I want to see more Metroid games on the market, but it really was that good. Snort. Let's get another... Why am I putting like memes up? This is so awful because like you read a meme once and then you go, okay, teehee, that was maybe a little bit funny, and then you move on with your life. What we need is an animation. No, why would I put... No. Yes. This will be the mascot for the stream. This guy can just like live the best moment of his life over and over again in this video. Oh, no, play it again. Loop it. Loop the video. There we go. Yes. Okay. Anyway, mascot of the stream. Donkey Kong Country 3, Dixie's Double Trouble. So much better than Donkey Kong 3. It's good. The game is good, folks. Ignore the dick guy. Is that allowed? It's a dildo. Come on, guys. There's nothing actually lewd about that. Is that allowed? What about that is TOS? He's just having a little bit of a suck. It's fine. What about this is... you guys are prudes. You guys are absolute prudes. Anyway. I hope we don't have any fucking snitches in the audience. Anyway, Donkey Kong Country 3, Dixie Kong's Double Trouble. Get this video out of here. We're not going to be able to move on from this. Oh, God. Fine, you know what? You really made me do it, folks. You really made me do it. Terms of service, that shit. There you go. Anyway, Donkey Kong Country 3, Dixie's Double Trouble. Okay? We're gonna talk about it. Shut up. This is the GBA version with the new music. I have never played the original version, so I don't have any frame of reference, but I very much like this version. The music is great. Some people were saying the music, they were like, oh, everything sounds all wrong because I played the SNES version. I can't account for that, but I think it's fantastic and kind of incredible that they made this work on the GBA sound card too. It's also just, I don't really have much to say about it besides it is more Donkey Kong Country 2. It's basically just the same, like, except of course you have Dixie and Kiddy Kong. Kiddy Kong is a little, I don't know. He's basically just Donkey Kong, and he's got a couple of weird gimmicky moves that you, like, never use. Like, there's, the roll, when you roll on water, you can, like, skip across the water, and it's, like, barely useful ever, but it is there. It's fun. The levels are good. A lot of variety, a lot of cool gimmicks. Something I didn't know until after I played it on stream was that the entire world Pacifica was exclusive to the GBA version. They just made a new world for it, which is kind of intense. And there's like this weird adventure game line that runs through this game too, where you're like talking to these dumb bears, and they like give you these adventure game items, and they're like, I need a shell. Here's a fucking toothpick. Go give it to the guy that needs a toothpick, and he has the shell, and he can give me the shell. And it's like, in the end, all you really get from it is just like the same coins that you collect in all the levels and shit like that. It doesn't add much to the game, but you get points for trying, I guess. Good God, did I give DKC2 a 9? Because I think this one's an 8.5. I do think, like, what is it about it that is a little bit lesser than 2? Because I'm going to be an unbiased man. I'm going to try to be an unbiased man. Like, I do feel like this is slightly... like, the adventure game elements kind of bring it down a little bit. They're just kind of like, okay, whatever, why is this here? Kiddy Kong is kind of cringe. And, there's those, like, shitty boating levels. Those are kind of stanky. Those are from a different Rareware game, though, right? Called, like, Cobra Strike or some shit like that. But yeah, those are whatever. I don't know. At this point in the series, there are a lot of level types that they had already done, basically. Like, this one had the boardwalk levels, that's sort of a signature thing, and the cliffside levels, those are really fun. But otherwise, it's like, yeah, there's mine carts, there's snow levels, you know, there's a lot of the hallmarks, there's like mine levels and shit like that. There's a factory and other such shenanigans. I don't know. They made an effort to make it feel distinctive. Like, there's no levels. The snow levels are the ones that really feel like they're just ripped straight from other games in the series. But for the most part, they tried to make it distinct. But it is just kind of like, there's only so much you can do with this concept on this console, you know? Because, I mean, I'm saying this as though I'm talking about the SNES version, I guess. But it's a port or a remake. I don't even know what to call the GBA version of this. Is it a port or a remake? I don't think a remake is the right term. It's like a really enhanced port with different music. I don't know if I will ever check out Shin Megami Tensei. I don't know if this is a random question to like just decide to respond to, but Persona and SMT, I feel like I wouldn't glom with them very, very well. Yeah, it adds a new zone, which is kind of intense. There's an entirely new zone, fucking Pacifica. I'm searching within my soul to see if I have anything else to say about this game. King K. Rool is kind of lame in this game, too. He's like King K. Roolenstein. I think he's way better as... He was a king in the first game, and then he was a pirate in the second game. Those are way more iconic looks than his fucking, like, evil scientist thing. And the final boss is just kind of dumb. It's, like, not great. Whereas DKC2 at least has a really exciting final encounter. Oh, and the banana birds. There's a couple of annoying side quests. Not only the bears, like the adventure game shit, but there's also the banana birds that are just kind of like do this same Simon Says game over and over again ad nauseum. It just gets old. I don't know. There's like the 100% completion stuff. I feel like was a lot more obnoxious than it is in Diddy's Kong Quest. Oh, and there's those guys with the shield that has the DK coin in it, that I feel like half of the levels they have a really cool puzzle with those, and then half of the levels they're like, yeah, just get it. Just, here's the metal barrel, just get it. So, whatever. Yes, I recommend this one. I recommend this version. I really have no frame of reference with the old SNES version, though. Guys, I have to pee. Give me a second. I'm gonna take a real quick break, and we're gonna pee, all of us. I'm sorry. I have to go piss. So I'll be right back, folks. I'm just gonna leave this on loop. And give me just a few minutes. Take it easy. Alright, I'm back. Did you enjoy? I enjoy. Closing my window. Thank you, Delay Llama. Okay. You know, somebody also sent me this. Because we're doing Street Fighter. I might have to use that at some point. It's like, damn. Damn, Zangief. Damn. Anywho. I have never touched a Yakuza game, honestly. I've never touched it. I've seen, like, videos on the internet. I know Kiryu-chan and shit like that, but otherwise I know basically nothing. God, should I put up the WebM that's like the entire SpongeBob movie in like 2p? That's probably, yeah, that's what to do. No, let's not do that. I've already done that bit before. Anyway, I will probably check it out at some point. What are people saying yes to? What did I just say? I totally forgot what I just said. Everybody's just saying yes. I forget. What did I agree to? Okay. All right, whatever. Sometimes that'll happen where I'll say something and people give like a yes or no response, and I'm like, what the fuck did I say? Oh, the SpongeBob movie. Ah. Okay. No, I will not be doing that. We already did that. Watch the fucking SpongeBob SquarePants Super Sponge. No, I don't think it was Super Sponge. It was, what was it called? Hold on. It's on this list. Revenge of the Flying Dutchman. That's the one. Dun, 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 dun. Look at that. Oh, that's so clean. We're going to be able to fill this up, and we're just going to get, like, barely any down here, honestly. Like, I took that pee break, but this is probably going to be, like, an hour and a half stream tops. We'll see. Pokemon Blue. It sucks. It's really funny, though, because it's fucking broken, and the glitches are plentiful. And I love and hate playing it. It genuinely was, like, really tedious playing it. Like, getting all the random encounters is just like, bruh. And I just... turn-based RPG, like, menu combat has never been terribly fun to me. It's Pokemon, though. Like, we all got this, like, drilled into our fucking heads as youngsters, and now we have to like it to a certain degree, or else we will be tried for our crimes against humanity. Give me a second, I need to... It is fun to play a completely fucking broken game, though. Like, I definitely take into account when I give the, like, number grade, I definitely take into account how much fun I have, regardless of if it's intentional or not. So, like, a really funny bee game, for instance, which is like a bee movie, not a game about bees, can get a higher score, even if it's, like, mechanically just absolutely shite. But it is fun, missing no and all that shit. There's so much, like, crazy shit to do, and even if you play this on actual hardware, there's, like, a shocking amount of stuff that's just, like, pretty easy to do. Emulator helps with some things, but there's a lot of things that you don't even really need, like, save states for to make any more convenient or anything like that. It is just simply broken. There were some people commenting on the glitch hunting video that were saying that this and Gen 2 are actually just really fucking tightly programmed, as in they had to fit a ton of information on a really tight, like, on a really tiny amount of storage. I almost said a tiny cartridge, but that's not really... the size of the cartridge doesn't affect it that much. And so with what they were working with, they apparently did, like, a fine job, but it's just like now just about everything in the game, there's, like, almost no empty space in the game, you know, where it's not filled up with, like, some sort of functionality. And that's why we have funny things like if you name your character a certain thing, it takes your name with this one interaction and stores it elsewhere, and then you can use your name being stored elsewhere to, like, catch glitch Pokemon and shit like that. It's just neat. But as an actual video game, I feel like I would give this, like, a 1 out of 10. You know, if I were just to play through this without going for glitches, it's terrible. It's not fun. That being said, there's good music. I talked about this before. They got some actual, like, weirdly banger tracks for the fucking Game Boy. I don't know how they did it, but they did it. It's not all great, but there's some catchy tunes, enough to keep a man sane through a playthrough, at the very least, which is nice. That being said, it's, even if you're going for glitches, it's, like, still not terribly fun. Even if you're doing, like, the leech seed glitch and shit that lets you insta-kill everyone, it's like you're still getting these annoying fucking random encounters all the time. Caves are super annoying. There's some annoying overworld puzzles, too, like with pushing blocks around with strength and shit like that. Just really kind of a frustrating game. I think even Gen 2 is a massive step up from this, even though both of those games, they look fucking identical. It's also worth noting the whole versions thing. I played red version on my own, on actual hardware, and that's why I chose blue version to stream. but they're like identical. They have different Pokemon encounter rates in different areas, and I think they have like one or two other changes. But really, they're just like it's a strange business model, and in retrospect, it just seems like a scummy thing where it's like, yep, you have to trade with your friends, you know, or buy two versions of the game. But these games, like, they don't look great. The sprite art is kind of derpy. The creature designs are kind of cool. I feel like that's something that's almost impossible to separate nostalgia from. Because even though I didn't grow up with Pokemon, I didn't watch the anime, I didn't play the games, I still have immense nostalgia for some of these, like, old designs, you know? And just that style. But there's some fun imaginative designs, and then there's some times where they made a snake and called it Ecans. You know? So there's also Muck, the cum Pokemon. Oh man, I don't know if I can recommend this. The only way, some of these they have like a qualifier. It's like I don't recommend this just for a casual playthrough. If you're interested in the glitches, it is worth checking out. But otherwise, it's like no, don't play it. Don't fucking play it. You know? Now, Mr. Mime, there's a based fucking Pokemon design. I give this like a 3.5. I don't know. It's like the glitches are cool, but they're not enough to elevate it. You know? Like Mario World has some really fun glitches that don't. And the rest of the game is fun too, which is a significant point towards it. Anyway, it's not a huge deal. There's Fire Red and Leaf Green, right? Or whatever. Was there ever Fire Red and it was Fire Red and Leaf Green, right? Was there ever like a Water Blue? I don't think there was a Water Blue, I just realized. What the fuck happened to Pokemon Blue, man? It got cucked. That's so sad. I just thought about that. Huh. Anyway, I don't actually care. The fact that there are versions, it's dumb. No blue. Weird. Pika Blue, guys. Remember Pika Blue? Kirby Air Ride. This is a fun game. I feel like this is just a review for City Trial, basically. I don't know. I should review it as a whole game. City Trial is the best mode, and the whole game should be City Trial. The actual races, I feel like I barely ever played. Top Ride is not great. Coming from a guy who played a 99 lap round of Top Ride, it's kind of like, but it is fun. It is very fun with friends. This is one of the best, like, casual couch co-op GameCube games. Right up there with Double Dash. It's got sort of an unconventional movement system. I was speculating this while we were playing it on stream. It kind of feels like it was maybe made for babies, but it's not for babies, if that makes any sense. Like, it's Kirby. The controls are very simple, but there's a lot of depth to it. And it's just a fun casual game. It's just fun to like smash around and get the power-ups and get Dragoon and fly on evil wings and shit. It's just really fun. And City Trial is a really cool. I wish there were more levels in City Trial, you know? Like it wasn't just that one stage, because then you could I don't know, just get a little more variety out of the best mode. It's like a roguelike mode, too. Which was a revelation that came to me as well. It's basically just a roguelike, like a versus roguelike game, where you're trying to get the power-ups and become as good as you can for the end challenge. It does. One thing that I noted when I was playing this game with my friend Mitchell when we were younger is he owned the game, so he knew what all the little hints. Whenever, like, halfway through a level, it'll be like, here's a hint as to what the final stage will be. He knew what, like, all of those meant, and I didn't know at all. And I feel like I was like, hey. It's kind of, like, skewed if you have more. That's the case with, like, every game. If you have more information about the game, you'll do a little better. But I always thought that felt like a little bit of bullshit. Whatever. It's not actually, but it's kind of a weird aspect to it, and especially the fact that sometimes the hints can just be wrong. there's like a 5% chance or something for those hints to just be literally incorrect, which feels like they're just dicking you around for no reason. That feels like they were trying to balance it out in case somebody like just knows what they all mean, but in the end that just makes it kind of poop-a-stinka a little bit. And hold on, I gotta scratch my ear. It's worth noting that they didn't bring back City Trial as a format. Like, I mean, there's never been another game like Kirby Air Ride, I don't think. But they only ever brought back City Trial as a concept for, like, Super Smash Bros. For the fucking 3DS or something like that. And that's just a travesty that they have not ever expanded on the idea past that. It's literally exclusive to the fucking 3DS version that nobody plays. Literally nobody. The only reason people played it was because it came out before the Wii U version came out. So it's kind of a crime that they didn't ever, like, come back on that. Whatever. Somebody said, are you going to play the new Kirby game? Probably not. I'm not a huge Kirby guy. This is the only Kirby game that I've ever streamed. One day I will probably go through the Kirby series and play like Superstar and shit like that, but the only other game I have any sort of history with is Dreamland on the Game Boy, which I did play as a youngin'. But the new ones I don't really have a huge interest in. Like, that one looked fine, even the reveal trailer for the new one, but I don't know. There's something that's kind of samey about them. And maybe I don't want anyone to jump up my ass. I've never played most of the games. But whenever I look at one of those games, I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I got something better to do with my time. Whatever. Yep, the Wii U version has a shitty board game instead of Smash Run. Smash Trial, rather. I think Smash Run is the name of the shitty board game. Okay, Kirby Air Ride. What the fuck? This one feels really hard to rank. I think I'm going to give this one an 8. I think a solid 8 feels good. Gotta copy and paste these. That's so sloppy. Sloppy copy. Yes, I would absolutely recommend it. Play this with friends. I have no idea what it's like to play this game alone, but I kind of think it's probably worse, significantly, than just playing it with some friends and shooting the shit and just being kooky fucks. I don't know. But this one isn't like quite the reason I would like rank it below Double Dash 2. It's not quite a comparable game. It is not quite as like viscerally fun to play, just on a basic level. The controls are neat, but they don't feel super amazing, and sometimes a lot of the stars feel too slidey. Like, you got to get a lot of that turn power up to really be able to turn well, and you basically need to drift everywhere you're going, which just feels kind of weird sometimes. But whatever. It is a good game. Very solid. Very fun. Rhythm Heaven Fever. Holy shit. Where have you been all my life, Rhythm Heaven? I always knew that you existed, but only now do I know that you're incredibly fucking based. This is better than WarioWare. This is the conclusion I've come to, is that Rhythm Heaven is better than WarioWare, and WarioWare is also fucking based. It's so good. It's so fucking good. I do think this is probably going to be a 10. I have so few complaints about this. Imagine if this game had fucking motion controls. Like, there's so many ways they could have fucked it up, making this game on the Wii. But it is just simply fucking good. And it's like the whole package, too. It's got the whole package. It's got a hefty amount of single-player content. It's got some nice, meaty, satisfying stuff to 100%. It's got bonus games. It's got, like, bonus modes. You can, like, listen to the music. And it's got cool multiplayer levels. Like, we had a ton of fun playing the multiplayer on this. So good. So fucking good. And such a neat concept. I know this is not the first game not the first game in the Rhythm Heaven series, but to me it was the introduction to the concept, and I just love the concept of all the little mini games. You get better at the songs, and they hit you with the remixes, and they're super fucking fun. It just feels really nice to play, too. Like, it's very satisfying, all the mini games, like, to hit the golf balls and to fucking, like, I don't know, shoot the screws at the widgets and built to scale and shit like that. Everything just feels amazing. Doing things to the beat feels good. Getting better at it feels good. Just feels great to like improve at a song. It's like, yeah, I'm really mastering it, you know? It's just great. I guess my one complaint is I've never been a huge fan of the way that they make you go for perfects like on the spot. But even then I can like respect it, you know, where it's like they don't want you to just grind for one song over and over again. I personally would prefer to be able to just grind at one song over and over again until I finally like perfect it. But the perfecting system where they like give you the opportunity and you have 3 tries, it's a lot more lenient than you sort of think when you first hear that. When you first hear that, you're like, oh god, that sounds like CBT. But it's like 3 tries once you've actually already superbed everything, because they only give you the opportunity to perfect it if you go for a superb, or if you get a superb. It's not that tricky to get it in 3 tries, or at least, I don't know, in Fever, some of them are kind of crazy. Like, I haven't perfected all of them, and I don't know if I ever will, but it's not that ridiculous of a system, and especially the fact that once you beat all the levels in the game, then it just gives you constant, like, cycling through perfect attempts, you know, for different, it just switches to different ones, rather than having, because before that, there's, like, a gap. It's like you play like 5 mini games and then it gives you a perfect opportunity, and then you play 5 mini games and then it gives you a perfect opportunity. Whereas once you beat the game, then it just gives you them one after the other. It's a fucking awesome game. And it's got good lore. It's got good lore, and it's funny. And it's fun. And what more could you want from a video game? I will have to give this a perfect 10. And I think that Rhythm Heaven Silver is not going to be super far behind. And the art style. I love the art style of Rhythm Heaven Fever. It's so fucking good. Absolutely, I would recommend this. Everything just looks clean. I love the way that all the characters bob to the music, and it actually like helps. It helps you keep track of the beat too, the way that they bob. It's like aesthetically pleasing, and also it helps with the gameplay. Just really nice. Really fucking nice stuff. And the bonus games are actually good. I was shocked that the bonus games were fun. But like Munchie Monk and like the hi-hat thing, somebody mentioned the hi-hat. Yeah, those were cool. God, what a fucking neat series. And Rhythm Heaven Silver, a lot of the stuff that I said about Rhythm Heaven Fever is of course going to carry over to this. Nice, simple controls in both of these games, but Rhythm Heaven Silver, which is, by the way, Rhythm Tengoku in Japan, this is a English patch of the game made by fans, to anybody who didn't know. This one's got a little more complicated controls sometimes, because it uses the D-pad and A and B. There are certain, I think Toss Boys is the only one that uses all 3, as far as I can recall, but they've got more complicated controls. This is during, like, since it was the first game, it was a little more experimental. And that's honestly, like, one of the most appreciable things about it. A lot of the mini-games are less of, like, in a rigid structure like they are in Rhythm Heaven Fever, because Rhythm Heaven Fever is basically just, you do the song, and if you fuck up, then your score goes down. Whereas in this one, there's some mini-games where if you fuck up, you just lose, and it just ends, like, full stop, which is kind of amazing. There's one where you can lose in the practice, too. And then there's just some that are really unconventional mini-games. Like, you got Quiz, which is like a rhythm game with no rhythm, technically, but I kind of still like Quiz. That's the weird thing. People always said Quiz was, like, super terrible, but I was like, I don't know, I actually kind of dig this one. It's weird. And, like, Sick Beats, where they kind of make you, like, improvise, because there's alternate, like, it's not just a rigid set of, like, you have to do these inputs perfectly. It's like, you just need to get all the germs, and how you do that is up to you, basically. You just have to do it on the beat. Really interesting stuff like that. Let me take a drink. Fun mini-games, I would say, I've said it before, this one seems to be the easiest to get all perfects in, because a lot of the mini-games are relatively short and simpler. Like, the controls are a little more complex, but the actually executing them is relatively simple. Some of the minigames are a little like maybe ill-conceived or actually the worst offense of any of the minigames in this is just that they're kind of boring. Like there's a couple remixes that are a little boring. But overall, I think the first and last remix in Rhythm Tengoku are just kind of boring. But overall, it's still got a really high standard of quality. Fucking banger music. I mean, it goes without saying that these have banger music, both of these. But Rhythm Heaven Silver, I'm particularly impressed because it's on the GBA. I believe Rhythm Tengoku was the last GBA game to ever be officially released by Nintendo. And it shows because it seems like they just had all the lessons that various developers had learned. I guess it's not like Nintendo is not one developer, of course, but all the tech that had been developed and all the techniques to make things run well on the GBA. So it seems like they came together in this particular game. Some genuine bops. It's not often that there's like an old retro handheld console game where you actually download the music and listen to it, you know? Like Toss Boys is a genuinely amazing song and shit like that. Like the real jams. But yeah, do I have anything else to say about this one? It's good. It's cool that it's experimental. People have said it's a little bit on the... People have said it's the hardest one. It is on the difficult side, but I really don't think it's that much more difficult than Rhythm Heaven Fever. I just really think they're like roughly on the same level. Maybe the requirements to get a superb or a pass are a little bit different in this one. I've heard that they're always stricter in the Japanese versions of the games, so maybe the fact that this is... I don't know if they adjusted the difficulty in the fan translation. I kind of doubt that they did. So there's a couple of them where it's like if you miss like a single thing, or if you miss like 2 pots in Karate Man 2, then you'll get a just okay and shit like that. The stuff that feels a little too strict, but it's really not, it's nothing too crazy, and I don't think there was ever a level that was like, oh, this is just pure fucking CBT, you know? Which is what you want to avoid to keep a fun video game. And I think this is a series that, like, in a lesser developer's hands, they totally could have made a bunch of fucking botched ass minigames, you know? This gets a 9.5 out of 10. I hate to suck this series' dick this hard, but it is just so fucking good and fun, and I had such a fucking amazing time with them. Yes, 1,000 times yes. Have you guys heard of this, by the way? I recently learned about Beat City. It is poopy Rhythm Heaven. Shall I show you a picture of Beat City? Oh god. It's also a song on the Ferris Bueller's Day Off soundtrack, apparently. I saw this the other day. I got like a video recommended to me. And I would encourage you to look at this because it's a great example of like Poopa Stinka Rhythm Heaven, basically. The art style doesn't look bad, but I think all the games look like roughly identical from what I can tell. Like they all have these shitty little characters. It looks like fucking Nitrome. That's how I would describe it. It doesn't look bad, but it looks like Nitrome. But whatever. That's a tangent. I was sort of thinking, I was like, do I want to play this? And I was like, no, I don't want to play this. It looks ass. Just the mini games looked really lame. Whatever. Tangent. Okay, are we done with Nintendo games for today? We're going to be able to... I swear to God, I know I said this last time that I was going to do more of these, and then I kind of didn't. I swear to God I will do more of these in the future. Soon. Fucking soon. I want to blast through the rest of this list. And now that we got a bunch of, like... it's kind of... It was my ultimate folly here. My biggest mistake was for some reason I sorted all the Nintendo games at the top of the list, and now whenever I add new Nintendo games or whenever I stream new Nintendo games, I just add them prematurely. So these review streams are always a bunch of Nintendo games that I streamed recently, and then a bunch of like PC and other type games that I streamed ages ago, which is a really bad format. I really should not have had it work like that. Oh well. Hollow Knight. Guys, it's Hollow Knight. Fantastic fucking game. I have very few complaints about this game at all. I feel like my gut is telling me instantly to give this a 9.5, and I feel like that's right. It's just simply so fun. I will actually talk about Repentance. Thank you for reminding me, because I actually meant to talk about that today. I will briefly cover it here. Thank you for reminding me. I should have really written that down or something. Hollow Knight's fucking amazing. It's so good. It is just viscerally fucking fun to play. It looks amazing. This is a game that will age so gracefully. Like, this game literally will not age. That's how you know it looks good, is that it literally will not age. Like, maybe in terms of stylistically, but the graphics, it just looks great. It just looks fucking phenomenal. The music is excellent. Christopher Larkin did an amazing job. I wonder if Lark just perked up his ears in the other room. So fucking fun, just on a basic level. It's a great exemplar of Metroidvanias. They basically just took a bunch of lessons that were learned throughout the course of the Castlevania and Metroid series and whipped them into shape, possibly outdid those games in certain regards. Really fun combat encounters and sort of Metroidvania platforming puzzles too. I personally like the White Palace. A lot of people don't really like the White Palace. I thought it was cool. The Path of Pain was cool. Nice little optional CBT thing. Because I think it just feels kinetically, on a basic level, it feels fantastic to move around and swing your goddamn sword and shoot spells in this game. Just everything feels fantastic. Exploring the world is very satisfying. There's just secrets around every corner. There's lots of fun, cute little characters. There's lots of interesting environmental design choices. It's got the Dark Souls environmental storytelling that is very absorbing. My one complaint, the 0.5 that I'm taking off of this game, frankly, is I wish it was a little bit more its own thing apart from Dark Souls. And I'm not just saying oh, it has benches, that's like bonfires. I'm saying tonally, and with a lot of decisions they made with the NPC encounters and shit like that, some of that shit felt almost derivative of Dark Souls, where it's they could have tonally branched off a little bit more. I don't know. Especially all the whole plot line about the Pale King just felt very Gwyn-esque to me, and it very vaguely felt like we were sort of treading old ground from Dark Souls games. Not necessarily in a lot of specifics, but just I feel like this game could have just a tiny bit more of an identity of its own. Maybe that's a stupid thing, but that is how I feel. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's annoying about the game, or that I dislike, and I really can't think of it. It's just so cute and charming and imaginative too. It's just one of those games where you're the people who made this clearly have a great passion for what they do and clearly actually give a shit about creating a quality fucking video game and not just making something that'll sell well. That being said, this game sold insanely well and is $15 fucking dollars, mate. That's a crime. It is a crime that this game is $15. There's so much content in it, and there's 3 free DLCs to it, too. And all the DLCs are great. I think they maybe, some of the DLC stuff, I feel like they just went a little far with the difficulty, but at the same time, I think it's also fine to throw a bone to the absolute fuckheads, the complete tryhards of the Hollow Knight world. There was a slight misstep with making the final Pantheon have a sort of plot critical cutscene at the end of it. That was a little dumb. I think that sort of rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And especially, like, the Pantheon of Hallownest is sort of hateable for a few reasons. Like, there's multiple versions of some bosses, and in the Pantheon of Hallownest, you fight every boss, including the different versions of the bosses, and it's like, just put the harder version of the boss in there and forget fighting the easier version. That's just wasting our fucking time. You know? DLC isn't free. Your payment is in pain. And yeah, even I was starting to, like, I think I did defeat both. Oh, what was it? Like, the version of the Hollow Knight boss that's pure. It's called, like, Pure Vessel or something like that. That got pretty frustrating. I did end up beating it once in, like, the like, practice room, but I didn't even want to beat it at the top of the Pantheon. I think I gave up on the 4th Pantheon. And Nightmare King Grim, a lot of them, those bosses where the way they made them more difficult was they made them do double damage. That was kind of... I was getting pretty bitter about that by the end, where I was like, man, just make them really hard. Don't just, like, give them OP, like, damage, you know? But I guess that is how you make them really hard. I don't know. Yeah, Nightmare King Grim kicked my ass so hard I stopped playing the game, frowny face. Yeah, I feel that. I feel that, for sure. Yeah, by the time I beat that boss, I was, like, kind of done with it and, like, not having fun anymore. But whatever. For the most part, the DLCs are fucking great. And I cannot wait for Silksong, but I will, because I'm a patient boy and there's other games to play in the world while we wait for it. I really hope that Silksong is just everything we love about Hollow Knight, but more. I really want Silksong to be just a 10. You know? It would be really cool if they could, like, diverge from Dark Souls a little bit more. That would be my personal preference, although I kind of don't think they'll do that, and I kind of don't mind that much. It's fine. Anyway. It's a recommend. Weird, like, phenomenon. There's always, every time I bring it up, there's always people who are like, Nightmare King Grim is my favorite boss of all time. You know? It's like, all right, sure, good for you. I really did not get a kick out of fighting him. I'm sure going back and, like, doing it again, now that I've done it once, would be significantly more fun, but just overcoming that challenge in the first place, I was just like, all right, whatever. This is just kind of like, it just felt grueling. Anyway, the randomizer, I'm just going to briefly talk about this, same way that I talked about Super Metroid item randomizer. And it's fun. This one, getting Hollow Knight mods to work was shockingly easy, but there are also, for the love of God, don't download the Hollow Point mod because it will fuck up your game irreparably. That's pretty cool, right? Don't you like fucking up your game irreparably? In a way that you cannot fucking fix? That's pretty nice. Pretty cool that they make that just so easy to download with just a single clip. Gun joke. And for the longest time, the enemy randomizer didn't actually work. It, like, broke for a long period of time, and then they fixed it, and then that's when I was like, yay, I can finally stream this. It is good for the most part. There are some things that are not very functional. I think whenever the Traitor Prince showed up in the randomizer, it would, like, glitch out and show his, like, spawn box, and then he would be stuck in the ground or something like that. And, like, whenever... what is the guy that... What's the guy that laughs? I think the Collector or something like that. He would glitch out whenever he jumped into the ceiling and, like, soft locked the fucking game. That wasn't very cool, but otherwise this was just fun. It's not meant to be a balanced experience. It's just meant to be kind of silly. I don't remember. I think there might have been settings. I know the Dark Souls enemy randomizer had settings on it to make it so that the enemies would kind of scale with your level. I don't think that was a thing in this one. I think it was just, like, truly random. Which, it was fun. I think there was like a chaos mode. There was like one where it was like you get a specific seed of like randomized enemies, and then there was like chaos mode where they're different every time you enter the room or something like that. And chaos mode is what you want, at least in my opinion. I guess having it seeded could also be fun. I don't know. That's just how I happen to do it. Because it means if you get like a really bullshit encounter, you can kind of just re-roll it and go back through it again. And it's just kind of fun to see like the jank. And there is jank. There is kind of plentiful jank. The mod comes with a no-clip mode to get you out of like actual soft locks. But it is fun. It's hard for me to rate this as an experience. I would definitely rate it below Hollow Knight because it's just not the well-structured experience that it once was. It's like a 7.5. It is fun. If you like Hollow Knight and you like jank and you like goofing around, then I would recommend it. But it was not life-changing, I guess. There was some pretty fucking funny shit though. There was some really good shit for like YouTube video. There was some good keks that we had. Okay, I'm gonna take off my shirt. Give me a second. I'm gonna take off my shirt. We're gonna review a few more and then I'm gonna get out of here. Ooh. Ooh-wee. Okay. Ori and the Blind Forest. I don't feel very qualified to talk about this because I barely played this game. I think I did like 3 streams of this or something. I didn't get very far. I think it might have had something to do with the fact that I played this right after I played Hollow Knight, but it just did not click with me. There was a really cool like intro scene. There was like an interactive cutscene at the beginning that was really awesome. And then I did not give a single shit about anything that it said with like regards to plot or lore after that. And they kind of tried to like give me lore in a similar sense to like Dark Souls or Hollow Knight. I know this came before Hollow Knight, but it just, in terms of like artsy indie Metroidvania, I think my expectations were just absolutely shattered. But Ori and the Boring Forest, oh my god. So rude. But like, yeah, there were just a lot of things that felt kind of clunky about this. It felt like it was just sort of, it felt like it was a Metroidvania by obligation rather than because they thought they could make like a really cool, compelling Metroidvania. It kind of just felt like, okay, I'm just like backtracking rather than, oh, I'm exploring, you know? And something about the way you like move around didn't feel good to me, and the basic attack. You have this shitty little attack in this game that's like a little white orb floats behind you, and it has like a radius of like effect. And if you press the button, this shitty little like homing shot comes out of this little like homing spear or homing soul arrow from Dark Souls comes out of it. And it's it is the fucking antithesis of the visceral, meaty thwack of the sword in Hollow Knight. You know? Or like when you hit someone with a spell and it goes, you know? And it's like, Ori and the Blind Forest hitting an enemy is like, it's like so shitty and so unsatisfying. I don't know. There was a really cool attack where you like grab onto an enemy and launch off of them that was so fun and cool, and they like barely used it, I felt like, or at least in the part that I played. There was one really awesome segment where it was like there was water rising up. There was like a flood, rushing rapids coming to take me, and I had to like platform away from it. That was really fun. And I wish the whole game was like that. It was like some Rayman Origins shit. And it was so cool. And then it just went back to like boring, like kind of like half-assed Metroidvania. And I was like, okay, bruh. And I think the part where I gave up was like just a really annoying segment where I had to, it wasn't even like that annoying. It was just like the moment where I decided, okay, I don't want to fucking play this. I was like carrying this big orb in this like icy room, and you had to like walk on the walls, and it was like if you failed, you had to like start all over again, and you walked so agonizingly slowly that it was just like fucking painful. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't play very much of this, so I'm not very qualified to talk about it. But it was a little rough to me. And I heard that Will of the Wisps is a lot better. And I might check out Will of the Wisps at a certain point. But this one, I don't even really see myself coming back to it. It was just kind of like whatever. And again, I think just after playing it after Hollow Knight, I think people were like, oh, if you like Hollow Knight, you'll really love Ori and the Blind Forest. And then I ended up playing it and I was like, I don't know about this, man. I just want to play Hollow Knight. But positives. Let's talk positives. The map looked like absolute shit. It was so fucking ugly. That was negative. Oh my god. Positive. No, the main character looked great. The enemies were well animated. The environments looked cool. There's like some cool hand-painted stuff. I don't really remember much about the soundtrack, but I guess it was probably inoffensive. I imagine like whimsical classical music, basically. But I don't know. There was just not a lot for me to love in this. God, the map looked terrible. It really is like, if you haven't seen this map, take a peek. It's like, damn. This looks like the fucking like pre-alpha version of the map. Not like the actual finished game map, but no, it's in the game. They put it in there. Good God. I don't know. This was like a 4 to me. I really was not a huge fan. Wouldn't personally recommend. Let's all remember that this is my personal ranking, so if you like this game very much, I know this is quite a beloved game, which is why it pains me to give it a lower score like that, but just didn't really didn't get a kick out of it. Didn't really get a kick out of it, frankly. Anyway, Scooby-Doo Night of 100 Frights. Now, this is a video game. Ori and the Blind Forest, get the fuck out of the way. Scooby-Doo Night of 100 Frights. No, this game sucks ass. It was actually really, like, me and Riley played this. It was actually really bad. It was not even funny. We thought it has to be funny because it's Scooby-Doo. It wasn't. It was like, seriously, I would probably give this one a 2 out of 10. The platforming was kind of crappy. It's a platformer. Platformer collectathon, boring piece of shit, whatever. And it wasn't even that funny. There were like a few cut scenes where it was like, oh, that was like vaguely goofy, but for the most part, it was literally just like the least effort they could have put into making a Scooby-Doo game. Like I think the plot was something about, oh, somebody is disguising as all of our famous cases where all the ghosts that we unmasked in the past have come back. There was like some contrived plot reason. It was like they were clones or something. And it was so fucking dumb. It was just like, oh, Scooby-Doo's greatest hits. It's all the classic villains. And they're all coming back, but they're all just basic enemies now for some reason. I think it was some fucking Metroid Fusion X Parasite shit or something like that. I don't know. It wasn't good. It wasn't funny. It got kind of frustrating at the end. There were some kind of annoying platforming segments. The rope swinging physics were kind of fun. It kind of looks like ass, too. Is there a VOD for this? Yes, there is. And in fact, if you check in that spreadsheet that is now linked in the chat, there are links to the VODs for every single one of these games. Not a one has been missed. Before I forget, actually, let me go up and do some repentance. I just want to touch on this. And in fact, I think I am actually going to change my score for The Binding of Isaac up to a 9. Because repentance is really good. It actually is really good. It is unfucking finished. This rating might be sort of preemptive, assuming that they push out a big patch that actually like fixes the fucking game and finishes certain things that are blatantly unfinished. I can't express enough how baffling some of those choices they made were with like Birthright, not letting Birthright do anything for half of the cast. that was just stupid. I feel like there were so many quick fixes to that, even if they couldn't implement that shit in time. Or just take the item out and then put it in when you actually finish it. Whatever. But there is so much awesome shit. All the new content, the new paths, the new bosses. It's really great. And like I said before, if there's anything you don't like about this game, you can just mod it out. If you don't like the soundtrack, guess what? There's a better version of the soundtrack. It's called Anti-Birth. You can download it and mod it in. And it's great. You know? So it's like, it kind of like, it raises its own score by having mods. Because you can basically just fix it. But yeah, it is, despite its very noticeable flaws, like if you play this game for a certain amount of time, you will encounter some sort of dumb glitch or bug. The stuff that they added is great, and assuming that they fucking fix it, it's like legendary. Like really, like what a fun game. I was shocked that they were able to drag me back in to this game after I played it for so long and I really felt burnt out on it. Oh man, the tainted characters. That's like the crown jewel of this too. I don't know if I'll ever go back to the non-tainted characters because the tainted characters are so fucking fun. They're so fun to play as. It's really good. That's really all I have to say. I mean, if you want to hear more of my opinions on the specifics of the game, then you're welcome to check out the VODs, of course, but oh, and the challenges are cool. The new challenges that they added are really great. Fucking TM Trainer, how absurd. Some of that shit is insane that they put that in the game. And then there's some items that are just normal items that they just didn't program into it. That seem like they should have been relatively easy. Whatever. It is very fucking fun, though. Like, seriously, I would bump up my grade for it a little bit with Repentance, with the addition of Repentance. Even though, as it has been so eloquently put in chat, it's a buggy, unfinished mess. Okay. Perspective. And by the way, I don't plan to do many, like, revisory reviews, but I felt like I should do that one. It feels so good to have, like, just a solid column of them here. You know? That feels good. Perspective. This game is good, but it is, it's a little bland. This is a game from DigiPen. Any game like this where it's based around a concept and that concept is the title of the game, I just feel like they could have put a little bit more effort into making this a more cohesive experience, you know? Like, I know Portal was very successful, but you can't just try to make another Portal. It's fun, and it's got a very cool, unique gameplay concept. It's sort of similar to Fez, which is coming up here, where you shift from, like, you move around in 3D space, walking in first person, and then you lock the camera down, and then you play a 2D platformer along what you see in the real world, basically. And there's puzzles based around that. And it's actually really interesting, and they do some really cool, clever, and creative stuff with it. In other words, that start with C. And compelling, huh? But I do find myself wishing that this game had a little bit more going for it in terms of, like, any sort of connecting tissue besides you're in a weird arcade, you know? It's like some kind of, like, I don't know about, like, it doesn't really need story per se, but, like, a little bit something more than just, it is a video game, play the video game, didn't you have fun with the video game? I don't know. It had some very loose connective tissue of, like, you're walking around an arcade looking at these different levels. But that would be my one main gripe about it. I think this is one of those games that has, like, 1 or 2 songs in it, too, but I think the music was good. I don't remember if it was, like, ambient music or what. The soundtrack. I always try to mention the soundtrack when I review a game, but this one didn't really... I don't have any memories of it, so it probably wasn't very exceptional. But it is a fun game. It's just takes like an hour and a half to play or some shit like that. But it is genuinely fun. It's a genuinely good, weird, like hybrid platformer game. Real nice. 7, solid 7. It could use a little more, but it is good. Shadow of the Colossus, man, have I thought and talked a lot about this game. I played like halfway through. To those of you who don't know, I played about halfway through the original, and then Lark and I played the remake. This game is a deeply fucking flawed masterpiece, right? I mean, some parts of it's like great highs and dizzying lows, where it's some aspects of it are so cool, and some aspects of it are cock and ball torture, or just like really baffling design decisions. My main gripe is, of course, the controls. Oh my god, the controls. We got a lot of responses on the video, and I noted that the responses were divided into 2 camps. 3, really. One of them was, I've never played this before and I have no opinion. But there were 2 camps of people who had played the game before. There were people who were like, I played this game 10 or 20 years ago and I thought it was great. And then there's people saying, I picked up this remake, like the new version of this game, like 2 years ago, and I was astounded at how bad the controls were. And I'm not trying to like fit this into my narrative, but this fits perfectly into my narrative that I think people forget how ass this game controls. And like, I feel like if you play through it once, you learn a little handful of tricks to make the controls more bearable. But that first playthrough, man, oh man, are there some fucking frustrating parts of it. And like, not just the controls of your character, but also some of the Colossi, like getting their AI to actually work and like do the thing that you want them to do, can just be so fucking like tooth-pullingly excruciating. And I don't know, but then at the same time, the Colossi look so cool, and the designs are so awesome, and the concept of climbing up them to fight them is so amazing, and the music is fucking fantastic. And in the remake, the visuals are like, it kind of blew my mind how good the game looked at certain parts. Like the Colossus encounters especially, and like the water in the overworld, it looked fucking fantastic. Like the original game, the mountains look kind of crusty, you know. They kind of look like Unity mountains, if that makes any sense. And like, you know, it's a PS2 game. But the remake, wow, they just made it so beautiful. But at the same time, actually playing the video game is just kind of like, bruh. Like, why? It's like looking at a beautiful fucking like masterpiece painting that like a homeless man is urinating on actively while you're looking at it. And you're like, and then you like tell the fucking like museum staff, you're like, there's a guy pissing on like the Mona Lisa. And they're like, that's part of it. That's it. He's the art. And you're like, oh no. You know? Someone said this is the most angry I ever heard you was in this game. Yeah. Shocking, right? I swear I'm like not trying to be a contrarian when I say things like this, but hoo boy is it a rough thing. And like another thing that kind of bugs me is the overall structure of going around in the overworld and getting like the lizard tails that they never tell you are a thing, and you kind of have to know that they're there. We got a couple comments of people who were like, they're glowing. They're not glowing. They're blue. They're like light blue. Their tails are light fucking blue. And like, they really don't stand out that much. And I feel like it is very easy to, if you didn't know that they existed, just completely miss those things and the little fruits that give you HP up. They're not necessary to complete the game, but they help a certain amount. And I just feel like that's, in retrospect, it's just really sloppy design. It's like, I can feel the sort of like Zelda 1 type shit, the like emergent gameplay that they were going for there. But in the end, playing this in modern times, it's just like, just stop fucking wasting my time, you know? Like, this is such an unsatisfying, like, roundabout way to give me power-ups and shit like that. There are certain parts of it that just feel kind of clumsy. And then overall, it's more about killing the Colossi. It's more about, like, the experience. There were a lot of people who I've heard in the past, like, were claimed to have been really touched by the story. And I gotta say, maybe it was just because I hated the main character so much because he controlled so terribly, but I really did not give a shit about the main character. Like, it was kind of easy to see where the plot was going, and yeah, it's like, I could, like, smell vague tragedy coming, like, down the breeze from a mile away. I don't know. But it is cool. There are tons of things to really admire about the game, and that's why it just breaks my little fucking heart that they didn't address the issues in the remake. And that fucking, like, Blue Point Studios were too big of a fucking pussy to actually, like, really address some of the things that are maybe kind of wrong with this game. That was what was so frustrating to me about it. Overall, God. I don't know. Personally, I'm going to give, like, 7 and, like, 7.5. I know that seems so fucking dastardly, but that's just how I feel. Again, there's really a ton to appreciate, but it is so fucking frustrating at parts. And there's certain Colossi where the solution to fighting them, to, like, beating them, it just feels really arbitrary. And it's just like, yeah, okay. Like, some of them, it's like, okay, they've got glowing eyes, shoot them in the glowing eyes. But then some of them, it's like, you have to do this, like, Omega specific thing for, like, kind of no reason besides that's what the video game designers, like, animated. You know? I don't know. It's weird. It was just kind of a frustrating experience. Frustrating in multiple ways because I feel like they could have really improved on it in the remake, and that in and of itself is kind of frustrating. I would say no and yes. Here's my official statement. The remake, sure, it's worth checking out because it is so unique and crazy and awesome, but it's also, be ready for some issues. For sure. And hey, if you play it and you have no issues and it's a fucking perfect 10 out of 10 for you, that's great. Maybe I'm just a fucking idiot. I don't know. Maybe both me and Lark were just collectively a fucking idiot. Just a few more here. God, we've gone over 2 hours. This is crazy. It's because I took that pee break. Fez. Now, this game is fucking awesome. I love this game. First off, get it right out of the way. Amazing soundtrack. One of the best soundtracks to any video game ever made. This is another one that, you know, you listen to on your own time when not even playing the game. That's how you know it's good. It is very cute, very fun, very creative. It has a good basic premise. It's similar to Perspective, where you're doing a 2D platformer, but you can rotate the world. Is there anybody who doesn't know this? Probably someone. You can rotate the world in 3D space to adjust your perspective, and then the world it's kind of hard to describe. You just have to see it, I guess. But like the platforms, it all is based on your perspective, and there's some things that you can do that are sort of illogical, that don't really make sense if you're thinking about it in 3D space, but it doesn't matter. It's a fun little puzzle mechanic, and I happen to like it a lot. I think this game is a great combination of, if you just want a light, frothy experience, you can just sort of, like, go through the levels and not get all the special, like, secret cubes and shit like that, and see the end of the game just fine. Whereas, if you want to do try-hard shit, then you can do try-hard shit, and do all the weird, like, tuning fork puzzles and shit like that. But yeah. And the soundtrack, by the way, is made by Disaster Piece, who also went on to work with Robert Mitchell. The guy's got 3 fucking first names. It's chaos. But that director he went on to work with him and has done amazing things since Fez, but I still think Fez soundtrack is the one that I hold most dear to my heart. It's so good. And the visuals and the music work really well together. Yes, Fez is created by an infamous asshole, Phil Fish, who, gosh, if you think I reply indignantly to some YouTube comments sometimes, wait till you see this guy. But I think the something to be admired about this game is that the guy that made this game basically redid the visual style like 3 or 4 times, I think, before he got it like perfectly right. And I think he did get it perfectly right. It's like I think there was like a bit of like development hell for this game, or at least for him. I don't know. You can't really call it development hell, but this game had a bit of a rough development because he kept like scrapping the visual design and redoing it. But I think in the end, that kind of just showed a commitment to perfectionism that really paid off, because the game looks fantastic. Like it just, the visuals are great. It's not like just this like trite indie pixel shit, as they call it, you know? Like, it actually works really well. Really good color palettes, too, in particular. I wonder what his mask does in Hotline Miami's French version. I have no idea. There's probably some interesting did you know gaming to be known there. Maybe it translates to English? Maybe he sounds French Canadian. I don't know. That's interesting. Anyway, super fun game, fun platforming puzzles. If you just want to go through it as like a casual player, I think it's great for that. And if you want a really deep, insane puzzle experience, you can also go for that. There is one puzzle in this game, it's worth noting, that I think the internet literally brute forced. There was like a puzzle that it was so esoteric and obscure and people just could not figure out how to solve it, so they literally like made a database of people like trying different combinations of codes, and I think eventually they brute forced through it and found the correct code and solved the puzzle, and that was like the first time anybody 100%ed Fez, something like that. I might be recalling that incorrectly, but like, yeah, that goes to show how fucking nuts some of the puzzles are later on. I don't know if I ever got all of them, but of course, if I did that puzzle, I think I just Googled the solution. Anyway. Yeah, I still don't know. Maybe somebody has figured it out by this point, but I don't know if anybody has ever figured out the puzzle. There's certain puzzles that require you to transcribe a fake language that Phil Fish made. Those are kind of fun. It's interesting. There's some kind of like weird, like, oh, you gotta like get out pen and paper and like write down some shit. And there's somewhere you like decode these like sequences of tetrominos. Yeah, there was a QR code. Lots of really weird, interesting shit. And yeah, it's just a fun fucking game. It's a really simple. It's simple, but it's got a lot of depth, and it's just pleasant to play. It just puts you in a good mood. It's a very relaxing game. Even the parts that make you want to tear your fucking hair out. Oh, and you know what else there is? There's that fucking thing. There's that, what is it? There's like a giant clock that like reads from your computer's internal clock. And you need to like show up at like on the minute, on the hour, and on the day to get different like collection cubes or whatever. That shit's pretty great. This game is, good God, I guess like the story itself doesn't really matter and is not in the forefront. There's a really interesting ending sequence, though, that I actually really like. That's just like this strange animation where I think it like zooms in on the main character so much that they just become this like solid color, and then the solid color becomes a line, and then the line stretches across this like infinite plane, and then it becomes a grid, and then you're flying across the grid, and like there's all this like weird shit that happens. Really like strangely awesome ending sequence that always really stuck out to me. But the rest of the plot is just kind of like, okay, yeah, you're the video game guy, go get the video game thing. We pretend that the game crashed, That's a fun little moment. I guess I maybe spoiled that for people if they didn't see that. But yeah, guess what? Most of the time when a game you can usually tell when a game is doing a fake crash because they always go like, oh, it's all glitchy. Oh, there's glitches everywhere. It looks like Gen 1 Pokemon Glitch City. It's like, that's not usually how a modern game crashes. So, whatever. It's like an 8.5 or a 9. I'm going to give it a 9. Great fucking game. Seriously awesome. Genuinely amazing. I'm sorry that I gave Scooby-Doo Night of 100 Frights a bad review. Are you calling me biased and cringe, nitpicking and biased? And then, okay, Antipodal, let's just cross this off. There are a few games on this list that are games that got sent in to me by people who were like, I made a game, come play it. And this one I was like, okay. I don't remember a ton about this one. It was quite short. It had like a nothing plot. It was like, you have to catch your chicken that ran away or something like that. And it had a cool platforming concept where there was like an above world and a below world. And like, if you pressed a certain button, you could swap from the above world to the below world. And they had like different platforming challenges on them. And you needed to do this shit where you like swapping like mid jump back and forth and shit. It was kind of cool. It was not very polished. I seem to remember it was like 20 levels or something like that, and it was like 19 of the levels were incredibly easy, and then the 20th level was just like CBT hard out of nowhere. This is going back a while, so I don't know. I don't know if I'm remembering this perfectly, but I seem to remember it was like super fucking easy until the very end, and then it became really difficult. I remember this not being terribly good, but it was inoffensive, I guess. I don't know. This is like a 3. Probably not a recommend from me, fam, but it like I said, it was inoffensive. I don't even really remember anything about like music or anything like that in it, but it was just kind of there. I really don't have much to say about it. Sorry if anybody's offended that I gave Antipodal a bad review. Okay, let's do the Parodius series and then get the fuck out of here. We'll leave Salty Bet for next time, because I got a lot to say about Salty Bet. Maybe not a ton, but... And then, after we do Salty Bet, there's going to be a bunch of games that I can just rattle off, you know? Just, like, real fast. There's some ones we can just sort of cruise through. And then some more meaty ones. You got nothing games like Hotline Miami, and then you got really fucking based games like Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. So, I don't know. Look at how much cool progress we've made today, though. We've added a lot of healthy negativity to this list. It was too green before this, and now it's based because it is rude. All right, do we want to let's get rid of this? Too late at this point, right? Too late to get rid of that. Parodius, Nonsense Fantasy. This is a series that is based on Gradius. I believe it is made by the same people that make Gradius. I am not a huge fan of Gradius. These kinds of side-scrolling space shooters have always been kind of annoying to me. I'm not a huge fan of the whole system where you get a bunch of power-ups, you like work your way up to being powerful, and then if you literally get hit a single fucking time, then you just go all the way back and you have no power-ups and you have to work your way back while you're already in the middle of a really difficult level. It's just kind of, I don't know, this format has never worked for me. They feel like kind of arcadey bullshit at times. And especially like Gradius is just kind of boring because it's just like, oh, you're fighting ships in space, you know. There's like a space horror aspect to that, I guess, but there's like horrific monsters. But yeah, it's a weird system, and I'm not huge on it. That being said, Parodius pumps new life into it because Parodius is basically just silly Gradius. And yeah, it's just completely off the fucking wall. It's like epic random lol spoon fork spork of doom or whatever, penguin of doom. but it is that classic like Japanese wacky. It's kind of got like a Katamari vibe, where it's just like everything in the kitchen sink. You're fighting all sorts of random stuff. You're fighting bunny girls. You're fighting like go-go dancers. You're fighting teeth. You're fighting I don't know, penguins and shit. Very, very silly. There are parts that are hilarious. I think there's a part where there's like mountains that like have little legs and they get up and run around and shit like that. It's just very cute and fun to look at. And they use classical music as the soundtrack. It's always got like, I don't know, like for instance, they would use like the Can Can song. I don't know what the actual name of that song is. Dun, 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 dun. Or there's like a level that has Flight of the Bumblebee. The one that goes, and it's, I don't know how they like get around that. I guess that's like royalty free music, but it's kind of a fun theme, and it makes the games seem really really lively and wacky, and it adds a lot to it. So basically, despite not really liking the format of game, I was able to just push through this and have a bit of fun anyway. Both of these games get roughly the same review from me too. Like the one on the SNES is of course a little bit more visually crusty than the one on the arcade machines, and they are different games too. They're completely different games, but they're just in the same series, and they're so wacky that they're kind of the same. Does that make any sense? It's like how two pictures of like complete fucking TV static might actually be, you know, totally different images, but they're both so fucking like messy and noisy that they just look the same. It's just, they're both just wacky all the way through. Sexy Proteus does have a couple of lewd moments. No actual nudity though, unfortunately, which is not very poggers and very cringe. There's like a nipple fake out, as was exhibited in my most recent Twitch Scraps video. There's like a part where they tease that there might be a nipple, but then it's actually like a seashell bikini or some shit like that. And there's also a tanuki with giant balls. So I didn't actually finish Sexy Proteus on stream because I think I was like worried that I was going to get Twitch terms of service. But I think we would have been fine, actually. But yeah, they're kind of frustrating arcadey games, but they are goofy enough to keep your interest. But they're not like they're not high art. They're nothing like life changing. I honestly am on the cusp of even recommending these. I would maybe say like 6 and then 6.5. They maybe check out Sexy Proteus. I don't know. You know what? No, I'm going to recommend both of these. Maybe to people who are a little more in tune with that like sort of gameplay formula. But maybe get hard. Get ready for some hard gameplay. Get hard, folks. Fucking get hard right now. Do I need to put up? Get hard. No. Weird fucking slip. Anyway, I think that is going to do it for today. Really weird games to end on. I don't really have amazingly strong feelings about it. They are, I mean, it says here that I love the series, but and by the way, that's what the rest of the sentence says. But I love them more than I love playing them, I guess, if that makes any sense. Anyway, I will now be taking my leave. Next time we will start off reviewing Salty Bet, which is kind of weird to even review as a game, but sure. And we will continue to whittle away at this list. The next stream that I do won't be more reviews, it'll be a video game, but I swear to God, we will do this, like more of this within like the next couple of weeks, for real. I just want to get through all the like backlog and then have it so that I just have to do one of these streams like once every few months to like catch up with the games that I've played recently. You know, that's the ideal way to do it. But thank you so much for watching, guys. I know these streams are not for everyone, but if you're into this sort of shit, I hope you enjoy it. Just hearing me ramble about whatever. I hope you enjoyed watching Kazuma Kiryu fucking destroy whatever his name is, the Ojima from Yu-Gi-Oh! What is his name? Goro Yajima? I hope you enjoyed watching Kazuma Kiryu destroy Goro Yajima's trachea with his massive, round, luscious ass cheeks. Thank you for watching, guys. Take it easy.